So my painting has hit a particular point where I thought it would be a really good idea to talk about mediums, because right now it's at a point where where's my brush? Where the paint is fairly sticky, and it's sticky not just because of the paint, but because of the medium that I'm using. And I use this one particular medium in my painting, and I'm in love with it, and I can't find anything else that I like. I used to do a mixture, a master's mixture of Damar varnish, linseed oil, and mineral spirits. But I found that it yellowed over time, and it cracked as well. Sometimes it can crack. And I learned that mixture from another painter, and it works out great for her. And I know other people who use it, linseed oil, Damar varnish, mineral spirits, and thirds. But for me, it just didn't work well. Like I said, it yellowed, and sometimes within a year. Now I use a product called Megilp, or Megilp, however you'd like to pronounce it. It's by a company called Gamblin. It's Gamblin Paint Company. I love this stuff. It's slightly thick, but not too thick. It's like the texture of a really good maple syrup. And it's yellow, but it doesn't yellow the paint. It works clearly. And what it can do, what it does rather, is it thins out the paint just a little bit. How much is up to you, how much you like to use. There's one paint that Gamblin makes that I add a lot of neo to, and it's, this is mangled, but transparent earth red. I use this in every painting now. I love this stuff. And it is transparent. I mean, it can be transparent. Let me put it on the melt glass and show you. Mixed with, I mean, as you can see, hopefully as you can see, here, it's not terribly transparent. Pull it up. Not there. But then you can thin it out as you see, and it comes out like an orangey red. I mean, an orangey brown. But then you mix in the neo, and it becomes lighter and lighter and lighter. And this is the most gorgeous mixture to work with. I've used it in Tyler's shirt and in Matt's vest, and I've used it a little bit in Jamie's and in their hair. It is in the background. It's mixed with the oranges in their hair and in Matt's hat. It's pretty much everywhere. It's in all the paintings that I use. I mix this with orange, and I get like this really rich color. I mix a little bit of earth, the transparent earth red, with blues to get another type of brown. But because of the neo, it just comes out so much richer. This brings out the best in paint, the best colors, the best reactions is what it gets. And right now it's got, the neo has brought a texture into the jeans that I'm working on, so I can swipe, and it's just a swipe. It's almost dry without being too dry. The color comes out without being soaking wet. So I don't end up with a big, thick, wet mess that I've got to try and wipe down and clean up and redo. This is the perfect timing to show off neo and what it can do. This is just the right time in the painting. This to me is like Christmas. This is twilight, not the Kristen Stewart twilight, but the twilight as an evening, where anything can happen. And fireflies come out, and you can meet the love of your life and have the best orange you've ever had. You can see the best mountain scene or anything. Fairies, blah, blah, blah. Fairies come out and sprinkle dust all over you, and life becomes happy. That is what neo, that's where I am in this painting, and that's what neo has done for me. So that's one material I use. This is the Neo Megilp by Gamblin. I use a lot of Gamblin paint. This is the best paint I have ever tried in my life. I do use Utrex, because Utrex has some really beautiful colors. Sorry, Utrex, but Gamblin is above and beyond anything else. They're a small company up in Pacific Northwest. I believe they're in Oregon. They have 20 employees. They make their paint almost by hand, not quite. They do use machinery, so I can't say by hand. But they're ecologically minded. They take the paint dust out of filters. The paint dust is collected in filters, and they collect it in bins or suitcases or something. And at the end of the year, they make something called Torrid Gray. They mix all the paint dust together and they make a Torrid Gray. And they send it out to all the stores that they deal with. And they give it away for free. The stores who carry Gamblin give Torrid Gray away for free. And you can take that Torrid Gray, and with that Torrid Gray is your ticket to the Torrid Gray Gamblin Paint Company contest. You're only allowed to use, you can paint anything you want on any surface you want, as big as you want. You send in a digital image of it. But here's the catch. You're only allowed to use 3 colors: Torrid Gray, black, and white. And some years the gray comes out kind of blue, and then other years it comes out kind of green, and other years it's more black, and sometimes it's more purple. So the trick is to learn to use that particular Torrid Gray that year. And anyone can win. Anyone can enter and anyone can win. And I've seen work on there that I actually know national artists have entered and won or lost. But there's a couple people I remember, and I've seen their paintings up close. They're unbelievable. But there's been amateurs that have won as well. So it's something I'd suggest you look into. So it's Gamblin and Torrid Gray. Now I want to talk about one other thing that I like to use. I use palette. For my palettes, I use disposable palettes, meaning the tear-off, waxy, papery things. I use those, but I mainly use milk glass. I got these on Cape Cod by accident. I thought they were marble, and I didn't want to use them for painting because I thought they were marble. And then I went to the Norman Rockwell Museum, and as we know, Norman Rockwell is one of my heroes, and I love him. I wish he were still alive because I would stalk him. But I went into his studio, which I'm so glad I got to see it. He has a couch. He used to take a nap in the middle of the day. I love him. But in his studio, along with the couch, next to one of his bigger easels that they have set up for you to see, he had milk glass. And the guide said he was absolutely meticulous about cleaning his studio at the end of the day. I would like to pretend I am, but I'm not. It happens at a certain point where I've had enough of my own crap and I clean it up. Norman, however, Mr. Rockwell, cleaned his studio every day, and he cleaned his milk glass off every day. And it's very, very easy to do. Obviously, it just wipes right off. It's just terrific. But even when it dries, it takes a little bit of effort. But you can scrape the paint right off, so you've got a clean surface. Every once in a while, I have to go through with brush cleaner or acetone and clean the surfaces off. But once I get done, I've got a perfectly clean surface to work on again. So if you can get your hands on plates of milk glass, I would strongly suggest it. It works really well with the oil paint. It keeps it cool so it doesn't dry right away. Even the Neo, which sometimes can dry overnight on other surfaces, doesn't dry on this overnight. It's just one of my favorite things. Plus, you know, Norman. And I think that's it. That's my talk on materials and supplies in my little studio tonight. I'm going to get back to painting these pants because this is almost done now. Now that I've got the shirt further along, the pants are further along, this is almost done. I've just got to focus on this and stop eating Cheerios and, you know, dancing around to the Killers. I've got to pay attention to what I'm doing. So, back to work. Damn it, back to work. Yeah, you slacker. Ciao.